Good Wednesday morning. Thanks for joining us on Kare 11 News Now. I'm Alicia Lewis. We'll grab a rain jacket and an umbrella if you can on your way out this morning. We're dealing with some rain for the morning commute, and it's likely going to last through the morning. Our weather team is issuing a weather impact alert until 4 o'clock this afternoon. We're going to check in with our weather team in just a little bit. Just in this morning, new details on an incident in Inver Grove Heights. One person is awaiting charges after a vehicle pursuit and running from police overnight. According to police, officers tried to pull over a vehicle early this morning near South Street and 6th Avenue, and that vehicle took off. It was found a short time later and pulled over, but the driver took off. When an officer was approaching the vehicle, they accidentally fired a shot into the vehicle's tire. No one was hurt. The driver of that vehicle was found shortly after and taken to the hospital for an injury after a fall from a fence, according to police. This incident is under investigation. This morning, the National Weather Service is confirming an EF2 tornado hit the Detroit Lakes area Monday night, leaving a miles-long path of destruction. Our Sammy Salinas there now and has details.
Today, Becker County is picking itself up after a tornado hit the area Monday night, along with 115-mile-per-hour winds, according to the National Weather Service.
Deputies and other emergency responders went to the area and confirmed extensive damage to homes, buildings, and trees.
Todd Glander, Becker County Sheriff, says the Floyd Lake area saw the most severe damage.
Roofs off of houses and buildings tipped over. Honestly, people just standing there in awe, not knowing really what had just happened.
The roads into the neighborhood were blocked off. Law enforcement says that it's dangerous to enter with down power lines.
It's not a good feeling for anybody, especially when you lose your house and people get hurt.
Workers say many homes are unlivable. Law enforcement says 3 people were hurt and taken to the hospital. About 30 were helped at an emergency shelter.
I said, now we can really see the lake.
Kurt Erickson can find the bright side among the downed trees in his yard nearby at Wheeler Lake.
Never ending.
And then we heard this big bang. That must have been the roof coming off.
His wife Janelle says the storm was quick. They didn't have time to get inside their crawl space.
There's our great-grandson's little trach down there. And there's my grill for making hot dogs. There's the playground for the great-grandkids.
But Kurt and Janelle,
It'll be fine. Everything's going to be fine.
even with holes in their roof and trees in their yard,
Oh, man.
consider themselves lucky
Clean up and pick up.
that they'll be able to pick themselves up.
Thanks, Sammy Selena, for that. Well, right now, 5 new wildfires are burning in northern Minnesota, 3 of them in the Boundary Waters. This is a look at the map of the fires. All of them are no more than 1 to 2 acres in size. The U.S. Forest Service says fire crews are working on plans to put them out. They're asking people to stay out of the area. Well, happening this afternoon, a Minneapolis City Council committee will hear what the community thinks about having drones as first responders. City officials say it will help police get a first look at the scene within minutes after a 911 call. 5 other cities in the state, including Minnetonka, are already part of this new program. Today's hearing is scheduled for 1:30 p.m. Today, Vice President J.D. Vance will touch down in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Specific details about what Vice President Vance plans to do today have not yet been released. What we do know, though, the White House says he'll deliver remarks on the Trump administration's efforts to combat fraud. Vance now chairs the White House new anti-fraud task force. Well, day 2 of the NATO summit is underway, and the Iran war is front and center. The U.S. and Iran launching new strikes overnight. President Trump says a ceasefire is now over. NBC's Alice Barr has details.
Hi there. Speaking from the NATO summit this morning, President Trump said he thinks the ceasefire with Iran is over and he doesn't want to deal with them anymore. He said he doesn't mind if negotiators want to keep talking, but at this point he thinks it's a waste of time, as Iran's foreign ministry also accused the U.S. of violations. President Trump in Turkey meeting this morning with the NATO allies he again accused of not doing enough to help with the Iran war that he and Israel launched without consulting them, just as that conflict is flaring up. The president was asked if the ceasefire with Iran is now over.
As far as I'm concerned, it's over. I'll speak to our negotiators. They want to negotiate. As far as I'm concerned, it's just a waste of time dealing with them.
U.S. Central Command released new video overnight of what it called powerful strikes on more than 80 Iranian military targets. saying it's retaliation for Iran attacking 3 commercial ships in the Strait of Hormuz, which CENTCOM called a clear violation of the ceasefire.
I told them every time you hit, we hit. And of course, they're dirty players, so they go after everyone.
In response, Iran's Revolutionary Guard said it launched attacks overnight against American bases in the Gulf, with missile alerts sounding in Bahrain and Kuwait. It's unclear if there was damage. The Pentagon hasn't commented. The Trump administration also targeting Iran's economy, revoking a waiver from the preliminary peace deal that allowed Iran to sell its oil on the open market. The fast-moving developments sending oil prices surging, all as President Trump is set to meet today with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, following calls with both him and Russian President Putin.
I think they both want to make a deal.
With Russia stepping up its deadly attacks, Zelensky is pressing the U.S. for more Patriot missile defense systems.
As quick as possible, as much as possible.
As 2 wars hang over a critical summit.
Another focus at the summit is President Trump's push to get NATO allies to boost their defense spending again beyond already increased targets. Member nations revealed new military projects worth billions of dollars to show their progress so far. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Right now, communities are expressing concern over 2 potential hospital mergers that would shake up the Twin Cities. They packed a North Minneapolis church last night to talk about the proposed merger between South Dakota-based Sanford Health and North Memorial. North Memorial's CEO acknowledging the system's struggling financially. Healthcare workers and faith leaders say they want a community benefits agreement to make sure that corporate follows through with their promises.
What we're hoping for, what we're hoping to actually get in writing, they frankly said all of these things out loud that they plan to do. We want it in writing. We want a real commitment. If you believe it, put your pen where your mouth is.
A meeting has not been set between all the parties yet, as the deal is also still undergoing regulatory approvals. Today, we're just over 6 months into the state's new paid leave program. Officials say it's been used by 75,000 Minnesotans since launching on January 1st. The paid leave program offers 12 weeks of medical leave, 12 weeks of family leave, or 20 weeks for a combination of the 2. According to the state, medical leave and bonding leave for new parents have been the 2 most common types taken so far. While state officials say the rollout's been mostly smooth, many in the business community have criticized the program as a one-size-fits-all. New today, New York City's building commissioner says a Manhattan high-rise showing signs of buckling is now stable. The 37-floor 1970s-era building is being converted into luxury apartments. Video taken by construction workers yesterday morning shows columns inside the building were buckling. Mayor Mamdani said that was causing cracks and sagging floors. The city moved quickly to evacuate workers and people in nearby buildings.
We were staring outside the window and we saw that it was kind of tilting a little bit and we weren't sure if we were safe in there. And then around 12 o'clock, I was walking to a meeting and they had said everyone needs to evacuate effective immediately.
And once the movement appeared to stop, crews got to work to shore up the building to prevent it from collapsing. The city lifted evacuation measures, allowing people in the surrounding buildings to go back to their homes. Well, be sure to stick with us. More news and weather coming up after the break.